Like to call this meeting to order. I will announce we did have a 6:30 executive session. We'll start with the flag salute.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mrs. Elder. Present. Mr. Hauser.
Here.
Mr. Laser.
Here.
Mrs. Mays. Here. Mr. Mueller.
Here.
Mr. Music.
Here.
Mr. Palmer.
Here.
Dr. George.
Here.
Dr. Laughlin. Here. Thank you. Start with hearing of visitors, part 1. This is the time when you can come to the podium, state your name and your address. If you have any questions or comments on anything that's on tonight's agenda. Okay. I move for the adoption of Resolution 163, approval of minutes.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? That passes unanimously. Solicitor's report.
I move that you move on Resolution 164, the authorization to sign settlement of documents. This is just to allow the appropriate officers to sign documents at the closing for the real estate at for the site of the new elementary school in Latrobe.
So moved.
Second. Been moved and seconded. Any comments or questions? Seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? And that passes unanimously. I do not have a legislative report this evening. Education and planning, Mrs. Mays. Thank you. We'll begin with the student report with Hannah Charlotte.
Good evening. For the elementary schools, all 3 of them, on February 8th, they held a new kindergarten parent information night. All first grade students will attend Fort Ligonier on February 25th. This free educational program lasts for 2 hours and consists of meeting a reenactor who portrays young George Washington, a read-aloud session, a station to learn about the myths surrounding our first president, a grade-appropriate tour of Fort Ligonier's Washington collection, and of course a station for having some cake and ice cream, because who doesn't love that, while making George Washington a birthday card. Specifically for LES, they conducted a Super Bowl food collection from February 3rd to the 5th. All items were donated to the End Hunger Cafe in Latrobe, where the student council members also volunteered. The Scholastic Book Fair takes place from February 22nd to March 1st, and Family Fun Night is scheduled for February 26th from 6 o'clock to 8:30 at LES. For Bagley, Rock and Read is starting on February 16th and ends February 26th with their Barnes & Noble night. And that's all I have to report for the elementary schools tonight. Thank you.
Now at the junior high, the French club sold carnations for Valentine's Day, and conveniently, the junior high also held a dodgeball tournament for students that did not get the reaction they wanted, I assume. Now, at the senior high, the prom fashion show will be held on February 25th. Vendors will be showcasing the latest in prom fashion by letting 30 students model this year's styles. Also, Polapalooza will be held this Friday with a record 44 teams signed up. And then I'd like to give you guys a little update on the winter sports. Basketball team, boys basketball has completed their season with a 20-1 record. Girls basketball came through with a 12-9 record. On to swimming, boys swimming came through 3-6, but that was only with 4 members on their team. And girls swimming had a very impressive season with a 7-2 season. Wrestlers went 13-2, and their senior night is this Wednesday at Connellsville.
No, it's
Here, Connellsville is playing them, my bad. And hockey went 14-6. That concludes the student report.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'm going to turn the next part over to Mr. Lacasio, who's going to introduce the Congressional Medal.
Good evening. It is my pleasure to introduce to you Senior Ava Lesko. You may have seen in today's Latrobe Bulletin that Ava was the recipient of the Congressional Award. This award is given by the United States Congress. The program is open to all 14 and 23-year-olds. Participants can earn either a bronze, silver, or gold certificate and medal. Ava has already received from Congressman Murphy 2 years ago, sophomore year, the bronze medal, and just a few weeks ago she received the silver medal. And so it is my pleasure as well as my honor to welcome to the podium Ava Lesko.
Good evening. I will just give you guys a brief overview of the program and what I have done throughout the past 4 years of working on it. And then if you guys have any questions about things, then I'd be welcome to answer those. So I began this program in 9th grade through the National Leadership Council, which I'm a member of that I have been in through my church. And through this program, I've also participated in the 4 different program areas. So there's voluntary public service, personal development, physical fitness, and expedition exploration. So through the program, you make goals at each level. So the program is big into goal setting. So that's how you attain the different hours. So say I want to volunteer 100 hours at the food bank. So I will set that goal in the beginning, and then there's a different number of hours that you need for each level. And so it works like that for the 4 different categories. And for the volunteering, over the past 4 years, I sort of found my niche eventually, but I began by working at the food bank in Westmoreland County. And over time, I began to work at the Westmoreland Museum of American Art, and I really enjoyed helping children with art projects there. And I'm also a mentor at Alpha Odyssey, which is a lot of fun. And then through the personal development category, I have studied a lot at my church and done reading at my church. I'm a member of the First Church of Christ Scientists in Greensburg. And physical fitness, I sort of spend most of my time outside of school in the marching band. So it was a little bit hard for me to find opportunities through sports. But I am a runner, so I made most of my goals and achieved that through running on my own time as well as skiing. And then for the expedition exploration category, since I'm a member of the National Leadership Council, we take trips every summer. And so through that, I've had the opportunity to attain those hours through canoe trips in Canada, and I also went to Costa Rica for a service trip. So through those opportunities, I have now applied for my gold medal, which is under revision process. So I'll be receiving that in June. And this program, even if you're not in the National Leadership Council, all you have to do is sign up online and find a mentor, which could be any adult in your life that you're close to. And it's really a good opportunity for any student to become involved in. And if you're playing sports or you're volunteering for maybe NHS, it's just another thing on top of that you can be recognized for. So I definitely encourage all students to try it out. It's great. Thank you. Any questions?
Ava, I don't know if I heard Mr. Lacasio say this. How many hours did you need for your silver medal?
For my silver medal, over the 4 different areas was 400 hours.
And how many hours do you need for your gold medal?
800.
800. And only a representative from the United States Congress could come and present her with that silver medal, and she must go to Washington, D.C. to receive the gold, all right? Tremendous. Amazing.
Thank you very much.
Who's your mentor?
My mentor was a lady that I had met at my church. She passed away a year ago, and Now my mentor is my NLC class leader, actually. But that whole experience of having a mentor in my life, that's not often you sometimes feel uncomfortable discussing things with your parents, but having that other adult figure in my life was very beneficial.
And who put you onto this program? How did you find out?
I actually found out about it through my original mentor, through church. So.
Good stuff.
Yep.
No problem. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations.
We'd like to take an opportunity to thank Ava for coming, and she's going to have her picture taken with Dr. Laughlin.
I just asked her what she's doing next year, so if you want to tell them.
It's in the newspaper, but why don't you tell everyone?
I'll be attending Principia College in Illinois and studying mechanical engineering.
Awesome.
Good job.
Congratulations, Ava.
Thank you.
very much.
Thank you so much. I'm going to get this one.
Thank you. I will move for adoption of resolution number 165, permission to approval to host the WCMEA Junior High County Band Festival and everything in 2007. Second. Been moved and seconded. Any questions? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That passes unanimously. Thank you. I would like to also move for adoption of resolutions number 166 and 167. 166 being to approve a memorandum of agreement between the National Center for College and Career Transitions, also known as NC3P, and Greater Latrobe School District, and resolution number 167 to approve the Perfect Translation Service Memorandum of Understanding. I move for adoption of resolutions 166 and 167. Second. Been moved and seconded. Any questions? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That passes unanimously. The curriculum committee meeting minutes are attached, and you're going to be hearing a lot about this in upcoming meetings. And the next curriculum committee meeting is Tuesday, May the 10th at 5:30 p.m. here in the CSC. Thank you very much. Thank you, Mrs. May. Finance, Mrs. Elder?
I'll move for adoption of resolution number 168 and 169, the treasurer's report and the payment of bills, both of which have attachments on the board members' agendas.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Any questions? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That passes unanimously.
And separately, I'll move for adoption of resolution number 170 to approve gifts, grants, and donations. And it's donations from the People's Natural Gas Company, $5,000 for a STEM grant, and the Greater Latrobe Partners in Education Foundation, $3,150 for a free enterprise week.
Second. Been moved and seconded. Any questions, comments? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And that passes unanimously.
And the next finance committee meeting will be the first Wednesday in March, March 2nd at 10 a.m. at the admin building. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Elder. Facilities Operation and Planning, Mr. House.
No report. I'd like to let you know that we have our next meeting will be Thursday, March 10th, at 3:30 p.m. if you have to do it.
Student activities, students let us know where they were on the athletics, so that's good. Did you have anything else, Mr. Mayor?
In case you haven't seen all the changes, with all the schools closing today, the girls' basketball game was moved from tonight to tomorrow night at Plum at 6:30, the first round of the playoffs. The boys' basketball game was moved from tomorrow night to Thursday night at 8 o'clock at Plum instead of Gateway for their first round of the playoffs. help forecast the rest of the way this week.
Thank you. And Community Relations, Dr. George?
I'd like to take this opportunity to present the volunteer firefighters, Pete Penarella, Unity Township Emergency Management Coordinator, Barry Banker from Youngstown Volunteer Fire Department, and Bill Watkins from the Crabtree Volunteer Fire Department, and Mitch Sarnick, Floydville Volunteer Fire Department.
I don't think the mic is on. We didn't want to interrupt her in the middle.
There's not a button on it though. Like, I don't know if it's not on back there. Got it. Or do you want me to give him this one? It did come on. Boss told me.
That I can do.
We're all going to try.
All right, thank you for having us. My name is Bill Watkins. We represent Unity Township Bureau of Fire. I'm the Crabtree Volunteer Fire Department Fire Chief. Barry here, as you all know, is the Youngstown Volunteer Fire Department Chief, and Mitch Sandbeck is Assistant Chief at Louisville. There are 8 departments in the Unity Township Bureau of Fire. The reason we started this program with the committee members is, as I'm sure everyone has heard throughout the years, seen in the paper, seen on the news, the ranks of the volunteer fire service are declining rapidly throughout the United States, especially in Pennsylvania, on a yearly basis. And I know when I was growing up, everybody in the town of Crabtree, my age, teenagers, that's what we did. We all joined the volunteer fire department. Nowadays, not so much. Kids have other involvements. There's a million things going on at school. Sports are year-round. So it's tough. It's a tough sell to get recruits nowadays. So we came up with put together a little plan. And we thought back, to my days when I was young, what we could have done better to keep the ranks going. And one of the things we never did way back then was get into the schools. You need to get the kids while they're young, because honestly, once they turn 18, 20, go on to school, you don't get them. So we decided to come up with this program and bring it into the school districts. Pete got in touch with Mike Fremko, who then got in touch with Steve Lacassio, who then went down to junior high level, and voila, here we are. So this is our second year for doing this. And the program itself is open up to males and females in the school district, ages 14 to 17. We put together the broadcasting class. Mrs. Howe from the senior high here put together a 90-second recruitment video for us that they showed a couple weeks prior to us coming in to talk. We put some information in the school newspaper, and what we did was during the lunch periods of the junior high and senior high, we had a table set up, and the kids would come up with a video playing in the background from the National Volunteer Fire Council, and the kids, anybody who was interested, could come up and have brochures here to explain the program, what it's all about. And they could actually, if they wanted, give us their information to take back with us, where we would contact, not necessarily signing up to be a member, but at least giving us some information. We could contact them, talk to them further, get with the parents, and that's what we did. The first year, we had about between 50 and 60 students between the junior high and senior high actually give us their information and show interest in the program. Out of that, we
had probably about 20 to 30 that we made the phone calls to and were still interested. And out of that, we got 11 students who are still currently in the program today. This year, we ended up with 12, so we went up one. Before we started this program, there were 15 junior firefighters in the Latrobe School District between grades 8 and 12. And then the second year, there was 27, so now we're up to 39. So I think the program's working. I think our biggest goal out of this, other than getting recruits, but I'd like to see the community college, Westmoreland Community College has a program where when you graduate high school, if you attend school down there, they will waive part of your tuition for being a member of the volunteer fire department. What I'd also like to see happen, eventually what we'd like to do, I know at the end of the school year, we give away certificates up on stage for these guys and girls. I'd like to see some sort of scholarship program maybe put forth that we could, give them something towards their further education for all the work that they put in throughout the year. Because it is, it's like a job actually. That's all I have. You guys.
No, other than I would like to thank the administration for allowing us to do this, building administrators for allowing us to come into their home and talk to students at lunchtime, one day at the junior high, one day at the senior high, both years. And if it weren't for you allowing us to do this, we wouldn't be able to carry out the program. So we appreciate that opportunity.
Thank you. I'm very much into the program. I know not only the kids are involved, and you seem to like it a lot. You learn a lot.
It has a trickle-down effect. I know we see a lot of kids that sign up through the school, and a couple months later, one of their buddies will come by and say, "Hey, you know what? So-and-so's doing it. I'm gonna try it out." And they say, "Oh, hey, you know what? He started, so I'm gonna." So it's working. It's good stuff. Good stuff. So hopefully they stick around.
As far as the expectations, I guess I want to say from the kids, it's not like the old days, Barry. It's not like whenever you used to join the fire department and you went through St. Vincent's class, and I think that was about all you did. There were some classes at community college, but now it's a little different.
It varies from department to department, but you're right, we belong to the same fire department.
Yes,
and you could go to St. Vincent. There was that 1 week a year that allowed you an opportunity and whatever in-house training you did. Now, we require, and I think most of the Unity departments require, you complete the Essentials, which is a 4-module class that is 188 hours. And, that's a commitment, whether you can complete the first 3 modules, which is about 160, I think, for your 18, but that last module, because it involves a burn, where you have to be 18 by state child labor law, then at 18 you can complete that module 4.
Certainly has come a long way.
I would like to think we're safer.
Absolutely.
There are many of us in the fire service that feel that it's been a burden, but just the recent outgoing fire commissioner, Mr. Mann, in discussions would put it this way: we kill more people in Pennsylvania as firefighters than anywhere else, and he wanted to stop that. Therefore, the education and safety requirements were increased during his tenure. I have no reason to think that the current commissioner, Mr. Solibai, will not carry that through.
I appreciate everything you guys do.
Thank you very much.
When you're dealing with the public all the time, like a lot of us do, all we ever see is the bad stuff. And that's all you ever remember sometimes. You remember terrible things, you remember all the bad kids you see, you remember all the awful things that happen all we hear about in the newspapers, how many people are dying of heroin abuse and all that crap, and it gets very discouraging. And then you come here tonight, we see this lovely young lady who's doing all this volunteer work. We see these wonderful students here give us a report. And a couple weeks ago, we had those kids, little kids in here talking about STEM. You know, and then you start feeling good, and you get these guys in here, these older fellas. I'm not sure. You know, given so much time. How much time is involved with what you guys do? And you know, you're doing it for the good of our community, and how much we appreciate that, because you know, this is stuff you do without people patting you on the back and telling you what a great job you do. You never hear that. You know, they expect you to do it, and the problem is there's not enough people doing it. And to get these kids involved again, we're getting kids involved in something that's good, something that's going to help our community, and things that they can make a difference about. Not everybody can be a star athlete. Not everybody can be up on the stage singing, but a lot of these kids who feel like they can't do something else can get involved with something like this and make a difference in their community and really help their community. Because I see these guys work with a lot of people in the emergency room who are volunteer firefighters. These guys are worn out because there's two guys that I know that work at Lloydsville Station, and they say when they go to fire calls, sometimes there's maybe another person or two there, and that's it. And they work full-time jobs, and they do it. So we don't understand how much time you guys put into this and how dedicated you are. And it's great to get the kids involved and get them young, because hopefully it'll stick and they'll become part of the volunteers that are going to help our community. And I really appreciate you guys coming here and talking to us. And another pat on the back for you guys, but it's also an advertisement so people know about it, you know, that we hear about this, that this is available. It'll be in the paper again, and people will hear about it, find out about it. Maybe we'll get more kids looking at it. So thank you very much. That's all I got.
Yes, I will move for adoption of resolution number 171 to authorize participation in the WIU Joint Purchasing Consortium for multi-purpose cases. Moved and seconded. Any questions? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? That passes unanimously. And the next WIU committee meeting is week from today, Tuesday the 23rd at 7:30 p.m. in the WIU Bulletin. Thank you. Thank you, Mrs. Smith. EWCTC, Mr. Neal.
Thank you. CDC annual announcement is tomorrow, February 17th, and that will be from 5 to 7:30. The next EWCTC General Operating Committee meeting will be Wednesday, February 24th at 7 p.m.
Board policy, Mrs. Elder?
Yes, I move for adoption of resolution number 172, which is the final adoption for the board policy number on the agenda. Second.
Moved and seconded. Any comments? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That passes unanimously.
And I would remind all the board members that there is a policy committee meeting on Friday the 19th at 11 a.m. at the admin building. Thank you.
Acknowledge, Mr. Farmer.
Thank you, Dr. Watson. Our monthly report tonight, however, the next meeting is March 8th, it's 6 o'clock here at CLC. Thank you, Dr. Watson.
Palmer, superintendent's recommendation.
I'd ask the board to move on resolution number 173, which is the resignation of Jeremy Burkhart as a personal care assistant.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any comments? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That passes unanimously.
I'd ask the board to move on resolution number 174, which is the addition of substitute teachers listed on your agenda.
So moved.
Second. So moved and seconded. Any comments or questions? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That passes unanimously.
And I'd ask the board to move on resolution number 175, which is the approval of support personnel appointments classified. Melissa Donovan as a classroom assistant, and Catherine Russo as a substitute secretary.
So moved.
Second.
So moved and seconded. Any comments? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? And that passes unanimously.
And the last item is resolution number 176, which is the approval of support personnel appointment. In this case, James Feather as the winter spring event coordinator at a total salary of $6,000 for the 2015-16 school year.
Second.
So moved and seconded. Any comments? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Opposed.
And that passes.
Under other business, I'd just like to note the upcoming musical, Disney's High School Musical on March 4th, 5th, and 6th. Sunday, March 6th is the new date for that, the musical this year. Please, if you're interested in tickets, see Mrs. Althouse this evening before you leave. In addition, the Breakfast of Champions is this Thursday, February 18th, for the month of February, as well as the Artists of the 21st Century, a student art exhibition, is at the Ligonier Valley Museum on February 19th through April 17th, with the opening reception on Sunday, February 21st. Our meetings in March are the second and third Tuesdays, Tuesday, March 8th, and Tuesday, March 15th. Thank you.
Now we have hearing visitors part 2. Again, anybody can come to the podium, state your name and address if they have any questions or comments. Seeing none, I move for the adoption of resolution 1177 for adjournment. Move second, all those in favor, please say aye.